Hi everybody and welcome back to the Duggan Daily Dish. I'm Jamie Duggan and this is my kitchen. So tonight we'll be making fried catfish, and I know there's some of you out there going, ooh, that's gross. Little story behind this. Before I got married, I did not follow the every Friday don't eat meat. I only followed the you only eat fish on Lent on Fridays. My husband, however, was brought up on every Friday. So I'm continuing that tradition, trying to keep the hubby happy and all. So as I got married, I'm like, well, I'm not much of a fish person, but I'm gonna have to try. So the first couple of months I tried different types of fishes, and I'm still trying different fishes. In one of my other videos, you'll notice that I actually talked about salmon, and I do have some really great salmon recipes, and that really is one of my favorite fishes, which I'd never had before. And this, surprisingly, and it blew my mother away, that I love fried catfish. I don't know if it's because it's fried that I'm like, it's amazing, because the batter is really good, or maybe to me it actually does taste good. I don't know. But if you like fried catfish, you'll absolutely love this recipe. It's really easy and it's super delicious. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step we need to do is we need to get our oil going. The best pan to put it in is actually a cast iron pan because it'll keep the heat and it fries wonderfully. When you put your peanut oil, that's what I use, it's a high smoke point oil, that's what you want to use for frying, or use your other favorite frying oil. Make sure you put in about enough that's going to come up to half an inch on the sides of the pan. So you want to put that on medium-high heat. Start that going. You can actually put your oven on 200 degrees. You're going to lay a cookie sheet inside with a wire rack on top of that. So if you're cooking more than 2 or 4 pieces of fish, depending on how big your cast iron skillet is, mine isn't that big, and I usually can get 2 or 3 in there. If you're doing more than that, you need to take turns actually cooking the fish. Then you want to make sure that you have the oven ready, that you can put your fish in there and keep it crisp. So I have that heating up. While we have that heating up, you want to get your catfish soaking in your milk or your buttermilk. So I'm actually using buttermilk today because it's got an amazing flavor. And you want to use a cup. And you're going to put that in just a deep dish bowl. Now the one thing I found out today, catfish sometimes is really hard to find in Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's just a bad season. The woman at Shop and Save told me that the price of catfish is going up. So she had catfish nuggets, which I could have done. However, I wanted an actual piece of catfish. So I called around to a couple of different stores, and the one woman finally said, oh yeah, we have catfish. I said, great! I'm on my way out. Get out there, and they're not the catfish nuggets that Shop and Save had, but they're not real big either. So I got about 2 or 3 pieces. So you can use nuggets. It's the same thing. I just wanted an actual fillet, but I didn't get it. I got a really small fillet. So you're going to want to maneuver my camera down here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Alright, so we got the milk, the buttermilk in there. Sorry about that, kids. See the buttermilk? Okay. Alright, so now you want to put your catfish, sorry, just making sure you guys can see. You want to put your catfish in the buttermilk and let it soak up for a couple minutes while your oil is heating. And this is about a half a pound of catfish. Depending on how many pieces people you're cooking for, that's how many you will need it to make. And a half a pound usually feeds me and my husband. So they're a little bit larger than I thought. They are bigger. See? Nice piece of fish. So you want to soak those in the buttermilk. is a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, look at that. They must have been just folded up when I looked at them in the store. Okay, so you want to soak those for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're going to flip them. So while these are soaking, let's get our breading going. And for the breading, you are going to need 3/4 cup of white cornmeal. Gotta do this the hard way. My 3/4 cup cornmeal I used, or the 3/4 cup I used to actually make bread. So it is in the dishwasher right now. So. And one thing I've also learned, when it comes to breading, you may not need as much as you think you do. So I'm actually going to only put in about 1/2 cup of the cornmeal, because I think that's all I'm going to need. I have wasted so much when it comes to the actual breading of stuff, because I always do what the thing calls for, and I don't need as much as the recipe calls for. So with your cornmeal, you're going to put in 1/2 cup of flour, and like I said, this is probably too much flour for what I need, but that's okay. And then you're going to put in a teaspoon of garlic powder. This has got some great spices to it, which is what helps the breading. Okay, so, and then you're also going to put a teaspoon of black pepper in. I'm going to eyeball this. Oh no, you know what? I probably could use the other one. Okay, so a teaspoon of pepper. Getting low, so I've actually got to pour it out in my. Not fill the pepper. Yep, that one's a goner. Okay, so you put the teaspoon of pepper in, and then you're gonna put a teaspoon of paprika in. Never knew I liked paprika as much as I do, but I do. Okay, so you're gonna put that in. Make a mess, that's what you're supposed to do. And then you're going to put 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which I know is a surprise, but it adds a little bit of heat, and it is really good on this. Now, I did not stick the teaspoon in there. I shook it out. It didn't look like it did, but it did. Okay, and then you are going to put 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed in there. Which, let me tell you, I didn't think I liked celery seed, because I don't like celery, and I don't like the flavor of celery. But this actually adds a different kind of taste to the breading. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my catfish right now. That puts a nice coating on there. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay. So, you're going to stir this around. Use what you have. This is such a delicious meal. Make sure you get it all incorporated, because you want to make sure you get the flour mixed in with the cornmeal. You want to make sure that you use a fine cornmeal. If you use a coarse cornmeal, then all you're going to get is grit. It's hard to find, but that's why I like to use the white, because the white is usually a little bit better than using the yellow cornmeal. It's not as gritty. So, you have a problem. I mean, you could go ahead and use whatever you have in your stores, because if you're using yellow cornmeal, at least, it is harder to find a fine type of cornmeal. So, stir that around. And I'm going to check on my oil. The best thing you can do is actually take some of your breading and put it in the pan, and if it sizzles immediately, you know you're ready. Which we're not there yet, but we're almost there. So let your catfish soak a little bit longer. And once this gets going, it only takes about 4 minutes, I think, per side is usually what it is. Let me double check and cheat. Yeah, about 4 minutes per side. So you want to cook 4 minutes and then flip. You want to use a metal spatula. I don't know why, I guess because obviously too hot of the oil. You don't want to melt your plastic, so you want to make sure you grab a metal spatula and you're going to flip your catfish and cook it for another 4 minutes. So this meal does not take that long. I actually have some hush puppies in the oven, and I'm making potatoes on the side, the buttered potato that you get in the frozen section. It's an amazing meal. So let's check our oil again. We're just about there. This is the only thing. I'm impatient when it comes to oil and how long it takes. But you want to make sure with the catfish that you get the oil hot enough, because if you don't, if you ever had a piece of breaded catfish and it's been oily, it's because they have not had the heat up high enough. You want to make sure that your oil is hot enough to fry. And in a lot of cases, that's what happens, is they think it's hot enough and it's not. So the only thing you have to do is be patient. You can tell from one of my last recipes that I used to turn up the heat really high because I'm impatient. But in this case, it's not good because of how high the smoke point is, and you could end up burning yourself. So I do keep that at a medium high heat because I don't want to burn myself. I've done that quite often a lot. Yeah, I know how to talk. Quite a lot, you know, as a new cook. I've learned my lesson in the last 3 years, so I'm getting better at this cooking thing. I'm hoping you're enjoying all the meals I'm putting on here. And let me know your feedback if you make them, if you like them, if you don't like them. Do you think I'm a horrible cook? Do you think I'm horrible at doing my videos? Whatever. Okay, I think we're about ready. And folks, because of the fact that I don't want to get the computer all oily, I am not going to make you watch me fry the catfish. So I will let you see me fry it, and then when I'm done, you'll see how delicious it looks in the end. So let me put this back down so you can see my breading. Right here. See it. Right there. Okay. Alright, so you want to take your catfish that's been soaking, and you want to put it right in the breading. And I usually will spoon up some of the cornmeal topping that we have here on top of it, shake it off, and then flip it over. Should have got a longer dish. Catfish are a little bit longer than I'm used to, which I'm not complaining. That sounds delicious. Okay, so there's one, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pan now and wait till you hear it sizzle. And that is the sound you want to hear. We'll take the other one, put the topping on there. This isn't a heavy breading, but man, it's delicious. The buttermilk seems to make the breading sound a little bit nicer, so. Okay, kids, I'll see you in about 8 minutes. Okay, everybody, we have a delicious meal ready to go. We've got the catfish and some hush puppies and some potatoes. Looks delicious. Throw in a little bit of hot sauce, it's going to be amazing. So, alright, I will go eat this and enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy yours too. and I'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching.